There is something profoundly strange about the human body that most people never stop to question. During the day, you walk, you move, you go about your life, and your legs feel fine. But the moment night falls, the moment you finally lie down to rest, something shifts. A restless, gnawing discomfort creeps in. A burning sensation settles behind your knees. Your calves tighten like a fist closing around a rope. Your feet pulse with a dull, rhythmic ache that makes it impossible to find a comfortable position. You toss and turn, kick off the covers, press your feet against the cold wall, anything to find relief. And yet morning comes, you stand up, and somehow it all fades away. What on earth is happening inside your body when you try to sleep? Why does darkness seem to amplify pain? The answer is far more fascinating and far more alarming than most people realize. And it begins not in your legs, but in your brain. When you are active during the day, your nervous system is flooded with a constant stream of sensory input: sound, light, movement, conversation, temperature changes. This overwhelming river of information acts like white noise for pain signals. Your brain is simply too busy processing everything else to focus on the quiet, persistent distress signals coming from your lower limbs. But the moment you lie down and the world goes quiet, your brain suddenly has nothing else to listen to. The pain signals that were always there, always broadcasting, now fill the entire room of your consciousness. This phenomenon is called central sensitization, and it explains why so many chronic pain conditions feel dramatically worse at night. Your legs were hurting all day. You just couldn't hear them. But understanding why you feel the pain more intensely at night is only half the story. The other half, the part that most doctors don't take the time to fully explain, is understanding why your legs are sending those distress signals in the first place. And this is where things get genuinely surprising. Most people assume that nighttime leg pain is simply a natural part of getting older, or a consequence of standing all day, or just one of those things you learn to live with. They take a painkiller, they stretch a little, they sigh and go back to sleep. But the truth is that nighttime leg pain is your body's alarm system. It is a sophisticated biological warning mechanism, and it is trying to tell you something specific. The question is whether you're willing to listen and whether you know how to decode the message. If this is already making you think of someone in your life who struggles with this every night, share this video with them right now. One share could genuinely change someone's quality of life. And make sure you're subscribed, because we're just getting started, and the solution we reveal at the end of this video is something almost no one talks about. Let's talk about the most common culprits, and some of them are going to shock you. The first and perhaps most widespread cause of nighttime leg pain is something called venous insufficiency. Your veins are responsible for returning blood from your legs back up to your heart, working against gravity with every heartbeat. During the day, the pumping action of your calf muscles, activated every time you walk or move, helps push that blood upward. But when you are sedentary for long hours, whether at a desk or on a couch, and then lie down to sleep, the blood that has been pooling in your lower legs throughout the day creates a kind of vascular traffic jam. The pressure inside your veins builds. The vessel walls stretch. Nerve endings surrounding those vessels fire in protest. The result is that heavy, aching, throbbing sensation that makes your legs feel like they weigh 100 pounds by bedtime. What makes this even more insidious is that venous insufficiency is progressive. It doesn't announce itself loudly at first. It whispers. A slight fatigue in the legs after long days, a faint discomfort that you dismiss as tiredness. But over months and years, as the vein walls weaken and the valves that prevent blood from flowing backward begin to fail, the symptoms intensify. What started as mild achiness becomes relentless nighttime pain. What started as occasional leg cramps becomes nightly torture. And all the while, the underlying cause continues to worsen, silently, invisibly, until one day it graduates into something far more serious: varicose veins, chronic venous disease, or in worst cases, deep vein thrombosis. The second major cause that demands your attention is electrolyte imbalance, specifically deficiencies in magnesium, potassium, and calcium. These three minerals are the electrical conductors of your muscular system. Every muscle contraction in your body, including the powerful muscles of your calves and thighs, requires a precise, carefully orchestrated exchange of these electrolytes across cell membranes. When their levels drop, due to poor diet, excessive sweating, diuretic medications, alcohol consumption, or even just the normal aging process, muscles lose the ability to properly relax after contracting. They get stuck, they seize, they cramp, and they do this most violently at night because it is during sleep that your body attempts to restore, repair, and recalibrate its mineral balance. If the raw materials aren't there, the restoration fails, and the cramp is the failure alarm going off at full volume. What is remarkable and deeply counterintuitive is that many people who experience the worst nighttime leg cramps are consuming what they believe to be healthy diets. They drink plenty of water, they eat vegetables, they exercise regularly, yet they are still chronically low in magnesium because modern agricultural practices have dramatically depleted the magnesium content of the soil in which our food grows. The vegetables on your plate today contain a fraction of the minerals they would have contained 50 years ago. This is not a personal failing. It is a systemic, civilization-wide nutritional gap that medicine is only beginning to grapple with. And your cramping legs at 3 a.m. are one of its most painful symptoms. The third cause is one that lives at the intersection of neurology and circulation: peripheral neuropathy. Your legs are connected to your spinal cord and brain by a vast network of nerves. Sensory nerves that carry signals about touch, temperature, pressure, and pain, and motor nerves that carry instructions for movement. When these nerves are damaged, compressed, or chemically disrupted, they begin to misfire. They send pain signals when there is no injury. They create sensations of burning, tingling, stabbing, or electric shock that have no external source. And like all forms of neurological pain, they are dramatically amplified by the quiet of night, when there is nothing to distract the brain from the chaos occurring along its own neural highways. Peripheral neuropathy has many causes. Diabetes is the most well-known, but it can also result from vitamin B12 deficiency, alcohol abuse, thyroid dysfunction, autoimmune disease, exposure to certain toxins, and even prolonged pressure on the nerves from habitually crossing your legs or sitting in certain positions for hours at a time. The terrifying thing about peripheral neuropathy is that by the time the nighttime pain becomes severe, the nerve damage is often already significant. Nerves are extraordinarily slow to heal. Prevention is incomparably easier than cure. And yet most people with early-stage neuropathy, that occasional tingling in the toes, that brief burning sensation after sitting for too long, dismiss it as nothing, never connecting the dots until the nighttime pain becomes impossible to ignore. Then there is restless leg syndrome, or RLS, a neurological condition so peculiar, so uniquely nocturnal, that for decades doctors didn't believe it was real. Patients would come in describing an irresistible urge to move their legs when at rest, accompanied by sensations they struggled to put into words: crawling, pulling, itching, aching, electric. Sensations that were partially relieved by movement, but returned the moment they stopped. It sounds almost absurd, an urge to move your legs that keeps you awake. But for the estimated 10% of the population that suffers from RLS, it is no laughing matter. It is a relentless, maddening, sleep-destroying condition that has been linked to iron deficiency, dopamine dysfunction, kidney disease, and genetic factors. And because its symptoms are entirely nocturnal, absent during the day, devastating at night, it remains dramatically underdiagnosed, with millions of sufferers never receiving the help they need. And finally, and perhaps most chillingly, there is the possibility that nighttime leg pain is a cardiovascular warning sign. Peripheral artery disease, or PAD, occurs when the arteries supplying blood to the legs become narrowed or blocked by plaque buildup. The same process that causes heart attacks and strokes. In its early stages, PAD causes leg pain during physical activity, a symptom called intermittent claudication. But as the disease progresses and blood flow becomes critically restricted, the pain begins to occur at rest, particularly when lying down. when gravity can no longer assist the blood's flow to the lower extremities. If you experience leg pain at night that is specifically relieved by hanging your legs off the bed or standing up, if the pain is cramping or aching in nature and located in the calves, thighs, or buttocks, this pattern should prompt an immediate conversation with your doctor. PAD is not merely a quality of life issue. Untreated, it is a limb-threatening and life-threatening condition. Now let's talk about the human cost of all this, because the statistics alone do not capture the quiet devastation that chronic nighttime leg pain creates in people's lives. Sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is the single most critical biological process your body performs. It is during deep, uninterrupted sleep that your immune system repairs damaged tissue, your brain consolidates memories and clears metabolic waste, your hormones reset, your cardiovascular system recovers, and your emotional resilience is restored. When nighttime leg pain fragments your sleep, when you are yanked out of deep sleep by a cramp or prevented from falling asleep by relentless aching night after night after night, the consequences cascade through every system in your body. People with chronic nighttime leg pain are significantly more likely to suffer from depression and anxiety, not because they are weak, but because sleep deprivation chemically alters brain function in ways that make emotional regulation nearly impossible. They are more likely to gain weight because sleep deprivation disrupts the hormones that regulate hunger and metabolism. They are more likely to develop cardiovascular disease because the inflammatory processes that sleep normally keeps in check are left to run unchecked. They perform worse at work, strain their relationships, and withdraw from activities they once loved, all because of something happening in their legs while they try to sleep. And perhaps the cruelest irony of all is this: the more anxious a person becomes about their nighttime pain, the more they dread going to bed, the more they hyper-focus on their legs as they try to fall asleep, the more intensely they experience that pain. The brain's anticipation of pain amplifies its perception of pain. It is a vicious cycle, a trap with walls that close tighter the longer you remain inside it. So what is the simple solution? What is the thing that this video has been building toward? The thing that most doctors don't mention, that most health articles skip over, that most sufferers spend years searching for? The answer is not a single pill. It is not a single stretch. It is not a single mineral supplement, though some of those will be part of it. The answer is a systematic, layered approach that addresses the root causes simultaneously. Because in most people, nighttime leg pain is not caused by one thing alone. It is caused by a convergence of factors that reinforce each other and which must be untangled together. The foundation is movement, but not the kind you're thinking of. Not intense exercise, not painful stretching after the cramps have already started. Rather, it is the restoration of consistent, low-intensity movement throughout the day, specifically designed to activate the calf muscle pump and prevent blood from pooling in the lower legs. Short walks. Standing breaks every 30 minutes. Ankle circles while seated. These micro movements are astonishingly powerful. Studies have shown that even 2 minutes of walking per hour can dramatically reduce venous pressure in the lower legs and improve nighttime symptoms. The human body was not designed for extended stillness. It was designed to move constantly, gently throughout the day. And when we honor that design, our legs honor us at night. The second layer is mineral restoration. Magnesium glycinate, not magnesium oxide, which is poorly absorbed, taken in the evening has been shown in multiple clinical studies to significantly reduce the frequency and severity of nighttime leg cramps. Potassium, ideally obtained through whole foods like bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens, supports proper muscle relaxation. Calcium and vitamin D work synergistically to maintain neuromuscular function. And if you are taking any medication that depletes these minerals, certain blood pressure medications, diuretics, acid reflux drugs, and even some antibiotics are notorious for this, you must account for that additional drain. The third layer is circulation optimization at night. Elevating the foot of your bed by 4 to 6 inches uses gravity to assist venous return during sleep. A technique so simple, so free, and so effective that it borders on miraculous for those with venous insufficiency. Compression socks worn during the day, not at night during the day, progressively support vein function and reduce the degree of blood pooling that accumulates with each passing hour. Hydration matters more than most people realize. Even mild dehydration thickens the blood and makes circulation sluggish, worsening every circulation-related cause of nighttime leg pain. The fourth layer, and this one is for those whose pain has a neurological component, is addressing B vitamin status, particularly B12 and B6. Vitamin B12 deficiency is epidemic among older adults, vegetarians, vegans, and anyone regularly taking the diabetes medication metformin, which blocks B12 absorption. The deficiency develops slowly over years, and its neurological consequences, tingling, burning, numbness, nighttime pain, develop gradually before accelerating suddenly. B12 injections or sublingual supplements can halt and even partially reverse this damage if caught early enough. The window of opportunity is real. Don't waste it. And finally, there is the matter of the nocturnal environment itself. The temperature of your bedroom, the position of your body during sleep, the quality and firmness of your mattress. All of these factors influence how your legs behave at night. A room that is too warm increases blood vessel dilation, which can worsen venous pooling. Sleeping on your back with legs flat may restrict circulation in ways that sleeping on your side with a pillow between your knees does not. These adjustments cost nothing. They require no prescription, and for many people, they make a tangible, immediate difference. This is your call to action, and it matters. If you have been suffering with nighttime leg pain, the worst thing you can do is nothing. The worst thing you can do is tell yourself it's normal, it's just aging, it'll pass. Because for some of the causes we've discussed today, time is not neutral. Time makes it worse. The blood vessels that are straining tonight will strain harder tomorrow if nothing changes. The nerves that are misfiring tonight will misfire more desperately next month if the underlying deficiency continues. The cardiovascular disease that may be whispering in your legs tonight does not stay at a whisper forever. So here is what we need you to do right now. First, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell, because we produce content that could genuinely protect your health, and you don't want to miss a single video. Second, leave a comment below telling us which cause resonated most with you, which symptom matches your experience, because your comment might help someone else who is searching for answers and finds this video. Third, share this video. Share it with your parents, your partner, your friend who you've heard complaining about their legs. You have no idea how many people are suffering in silence with this, too embarrassed to bring it up, too resigned to seek help. Your one share could be the thing that finally connects them to the knowledge they need. Your body is not trying to torture you. Your legs are not failing you. They are communicating with you urgently, persistently, nocturnally, in the only language they have available, the language of pain. And pain, when properly understood, is not an enemy. It is the most sophisticated alarm system ever engineered. It is evolution's way of saying, something needs your attention. Something needs to change. You now have the knowledge to begin decoding that message. You now understand the mechanisms, the causes, the consequences, and, most importantly, the solutions. The path forward is not complicated. It is not expensive. It does not require suffering in silence for another night, another week, another year. The question is simply this: are you going to act on what you now know? Because your legs are counting on you, and so is the sleep you deserve.